everybody knows we have a president who, how should we put this, is just a little nuts in many ways, including when it comes to just spending all his time on the Twitter. That part we know. Now, I've often wondered, what does it take to be blocked by President Trump? I've certainly tried to provoke the guy as much as I can without too much success. But our next guest has been blocked by President Trump, and maybe she can give us some insights. Laura Packard is a digital and new media communications strategist. She's a Democratic political consultant. She's a voting rights advocate. She's a writer. She's a small business owner. I have it on good authority and personal experience. She's also an awesome human being, and she has staged 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. So first of all, Laura, thanks for coming on the program.
No problem.
And secondly, did you feel bad for Donald Trump? Because I saw a couple headlines that said, well, yeah, okay, the president is blocking a stage 4 cancer victim, and he got a little bit of bad press off that. Did you feel just awful for the guy?
Well, world's smallest violin.
Right, okay. So tell us, if you will, the story of how it came to be that you had the uniquely American distinction of being blocked by the president.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's international. Maybe there are people from other countries that have been blocked. So don't limit yourself.
Okay, that's true. The world is our oyster. But tell us your story.
I have been tweeting Trump for 9 months, I would say. So it's a little unclear to me what finally made him flip his lid. But yesterday morning, I found out that I had been blocked.
So, you know, I mean, you'd think, you know, like, you or me, okay, when we're on Twitter, it's like after a few months of, hey, this person is like trolling me, I'm going to block them. But we're not, what's the word? President. Okay, you and I are not the president. Isn't it weird to you that the president of the United States actually probably thought your name, Laura Packard, I'm going to block her?
It's just so weird. Because yesterday, a few things were happening, such as a Category 5 hurricane devastating Puerto Rico, 100% of the island, which is larger population-wise than 21 other states. 100% of the island has no power. Millions of people are suffering, and he's sitting there thumbing his phone through Twitter and blocking people, blocking his constituents. If you're going to keep your Twitter account and use it as a form of government, then that's illegal.
Yeah.
To block citizens from viewing your public statements.
I don't know the legality of it. That's a great question, actually, whether it is legal to you know, a real Donald Trump. Maybe it's illegal. He has a POTUS account, too, for President of the United States. Maybe it's illegal to block one. Maybe this is his I don't know. But the fact is, so let's tell us, how did you get under the president's skin? What have you been tweeting at him about?
Well, there are many different things that might have set him off. I have been tweeting about Trump Care for months, pointing out the obvious flaws, because I am a reality-based individual. So usually when I tweet out information, I will include the links from reputable sources. So I've been attempting to educate him for several months on healthcare, because it seems like he's got a lot to learn. But I've also attempted to educate him that whenever he talks about putting America first, that maybe he should start with his own business, where most of their products come from foreign countries. So I often include links to lists of all of his outsourced items, and Ivanka's too. I have attempted to call him to task for the white supremacy, because both sides are not equal. The Nazis are not equal to the people that are trying to stop the fascists.
Well, yeah, and I want to just stop you for a second on that one, Laura, because this one, it actually, maybe I'll even do a monologue about it, but it drives me crazy. We can have tactical differences or what have you, but it's not, you can't say on the one hand about literal Nazis, people who support the ideology that led to the mass extermination of millions and millions of people, but on the other hand, these people like to throw rocks, so they're like the same. It just doesn't make any sense, and they do whatever they do because they don't like the ideology that leads to the extermination of millions of men, women, and children. This is just, I'm sorry, that's like a trigger for me.
Well, I think maybe you should do a whole show on that. But again, so I have attempted to educate him about his own business practices, about white supremacy, about healthcare. I have attempted to educate him about Russia, about maybe he should rethink some things, and exactly what set him off, it's difficult to say. He's a little thin-skinned about his family, I'm thinking. So that may have been it.
You know, I have a great solution for anybody who's thin-skinned about their family, particularly in elective office. Don't bring them into public life. You know, there you go. You just fixed it. Because Ivanka, don't give her an unofficial position or let her wander around the White House and walk into meetings. Jared Kushner, don't have him, represent you in any way. Of course, he may be representing him from behind bars, presume, but, just leave the family out of it. I'll make a deal with him right now. You leave your family out of it, I'll leave your family out of it too.
Well, also, I think that it's reasonable to expect that people in elected office are grown-ups. I'm a private citizen, and I get all kinds of crap on Twitter and Facebook. And if it's, a death threat or whatever, I report it. But I'm not flipping out over anything because it's the internet. There's a certain amount of people out there that are either crazy or they're going to say crazy stuff to get a rise out of you. And you have to kind of get over it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's right. I had to look up a word I was called on the internet. They were suggesting I like seeing my wife have sex with other men, which is absolutely untrue. So everybody.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that, no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's just not my thing. So yeah, just crazy stuff out there. So, and obviously, once he blocks you, if I understand the Twitter correctly, then his followers don't see what you say to him either. So for example, when he tweets about healthcare, the observations of someone who's in the midst of the healthcare system right now, who might conceivably face the consequences of the horrific, literally, destructive bills that these guys are pushing, he might not want his followers to see that.
Right. Well, I believe that the past is the past. So anything that I've tweeted is still on the record, attached to every tweet. I just can't see it. And going forward, if he tweets, I can't see it. I can't comment. So this is more for the future than changing anything that happened in the past. But one thing I don't get is he's the president of the United States. There's a legal argument here, but just mute me if you don't ever want to hear me again. Hello.
Yeah, but like I say, well, I don't know, I don't want to get into the techniques of technology of Twitter, but you could also just open a new account.
Well, also, he doesn't have a country to run. Like, why is he even spending time sitting with his phone blocking people?
Well, look, you hear people talk in our world, the world of politics, right, and political activism, you hear people talk about, let's not normalize Donald Trump. My answer to that is always, don't stress about it, okay? Because this guy is not normal in any way, and he's not, you can't normalize a guy who does things like that.
He's a 71-year-old man, baby.
He's a, yeah, he really is. So, all right, what's next for you? I guess you're not going to be tweeting at or to the president, unless you take my advice and open a new account. So obviously, you know, you got a health issue to deal with, but what's the next challenge for you?
Well, I have 2 more chemo sessions, so I should be done with chemo in mid-October. And then I have a few weeks off to kind of recover. And then I have 3.5 weeks of radiation. And then I'm healthy.
Well, we are certainly sending every positive vibration in every direction in the universe. We're covering all our bases and for you, and we look forward to talking to you again in the near future, even if Donald Trump doesn't. So Laura Packard, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you.